Okay. So let me start chapter 1. Okay. Okay. Two. Okay. Sorry. Okay. So start from beginning. Okay. So this is pseudomonas. Okay. So the structure of the skin and mucous membranes. This stuff you should be able to remember from anatomy, right? Epidermis, keratin, dermis. These are all definitions you should know. Okay. How we prevent pathogens from accumulating in our skin. It's right there. Okay, the mucous membranes you should know. Okay, so the normal microbiota, okay, is resistant to drying and high salt concentration. You guys learned that in the anatomy lab. Staphylococci, micrococci. Okay, um, okay, okay. You can read those there. Okay. So now we're actually going to tackle the diseases of the skin, right? This is what the focus will be on. For one of your homework assignments, there's a chart to fill out. Make sure you fill out the chart. Okay, so this is the cause of agent, the mode of transportation, and the clinical symptoms of pseudomonas, um, otitis externa, acne, and Morelli ulcer. Okay, so make sure you understand pseudomonas. Um, Otitis externa and acne. Okay. Um, this is cause of agent, modes of transportation, symptoms of warts, smallpox, monkeypox, chickenpox, shingles, cold sores, rubella, measles, um, fifth disease, hand, foot, mouth, and roselia. Okay. So basically, just go through all these. All these are on there except monkeypox. Um, okay. Oh, sorry. I don't know what the hell is wrong with my screen computer. Hello. Okay. Um, okay. Sorry. My computer is being possessed by, I don't know, spirit students who hate me. Um, okay. So the rest of them. Differentiate cutaneous from subcutaneous mycosis. This is a causative agent of candidiasis. Okay. Um, scabies and for that, this one you don't have to know. Okay. So microbial diseases, these are definitions that you should know. Okay. Okay. One of the labs we have to test for staphylococcus. Okay. Staphylococcus is spherical gram-positive bacteria. They form irregular clusters, and most of them produce coagulase, which you guys tested. Okay. Okay. Staphylococcus epidermidis. Okay. Um, it's 90% of normal skin microbiota, but it is a healthcare associated pathogen because it does, um, if it gets inside you, like through a catheter, it can cause problems. Okay. 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 So here you can see bacteria forming biofilm and a lot of biofilm. Okay. Staph aureus, Staphylococcus aureus. Okay. It's carrying the nasal passage of the 20% of the population. Okay. The aureus obviously means gold, so yellow gold colonies. Okay, so they produce damaging toxins and cause sepsis, and if it gets into your bloodstream. Okay. Okay, and then MRSA obviously is this is MRSA. Okay, so the only thing that they're resistant to is vancomycin. Okay. Okay. These staph infections, folliculitis is okay. Uh, Infections of skin follicles. Okay. A boil is a localized regional pus. I'm sure you've seen boils before. Okay. Impetigo is this stuff. Okay. This type of crusty lesion here. Okay. Um, okay. Scalded skin syndrome. It actually looks like your skin was in hot water, even though it's not. It's not nearly as painful or anything, but it looks like your skin is peeling and stuff like that. Okay. Toxic shock syndrome. Okay. Fever, vomiting, shock, organ failure caused by toxic shock syndrome in the bloodstream. Okay. We'll tell you about one really famous case of toxic shock syndrome. Okay. Let me see if I have a picture. Okay. Um, Toxic shock syndrome. Make sure your eyes are on the right thing. Share screen. Okay. Okay. So toxic shock syndrome, fever, vomiting, shock, organ failure caused by toxic shock syndrome 1 in the bloodstream. Okay, there's a very famous case of this, and this was in the 70s and 80s. One of the things that happened in the 70s and 80s was they invented this new type of tampon that was more absorbent. Okay, more absorbent tampons while women left them in longer. But this type of tampon actually is called Rely, I believe. Um, what it did was cause micro tears in the vagina. Okay, so now you have an entryway for things to get into your bloodstream. Okay, and leaving there, the tampon there, where the tampon is obviously accumulating fresh biological material to grow on, and you leaving it in for a longer period of time because it's super absorbent, cause a huge amount of females to get toxic shock syndrome. Okay, so they eventually traced it all back, and basically they discontinued the brand of tampons. Um, that being said, tampons do show a slightly increased risk of getting toxic shock syndrome. Okay. 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 So let's talk about this diseases. So what I want you guys to make sure you understand is something like this. Okay, where you have diseases, pathogen, the portal of entry, symptom, method of transmission, and treatment. Okay. Okay. Streptococcal skin infections, gram-positive cocci and chains. Okay, so there we go. Okay. Okay, group A, streptococci. Okay, group A. Okay, necrotizing fasciitis. This is kind of gross, so prepare to be grossed out. Okay, nope. There you go. Necrotizing fasciitis of the leg. Okay. Uh, this one. Okay. Pseudomonas. Okay. Gram-negative aerobic rod. It produces green, blue-green pus. Um, okay. So Pseudomonas has a tendency to grow in burn patients. Okay. And that's one of the things that if you get second, particularly third-degree burns, you're at risk for Pseudomonas infection. Okay. All right. Ulcer, we won't talk about because it's really not affecting us. Acne. Okay. So acne is just the skin cells shedding hair follicles combined with sebum, they cause a blockage, and then you have the growth of bacteria in the blockage. Okay. Okay. So severe acne. Okay. All right. Warts. Okay. Um, warts are like cause papillomas or small skin growths. Okay. They're caused by papilloma viruses. Okay. Uh, so papilloma viruses cause skin growth. And anytime you have abnormal growth, you're at higher risk for cancer. Okay. So some papilloma viruses cause cancers, in particular, okay, HPV, okay, treated with cryotherapy where they freeze it off, electrocute it off, or salicylic acid. Okay. Smallpox. Okay. Smallpox is caused by orthopox virus. Okay. Uh, we really only talk about the variolar major, okay, because it has 20 to 60% mortality. It is transmitted via the respiratory route. Occasionally, it moves in the bloodstream, infects the skin. It can be also transmitted by fomite transmission. Um, it was completely eradicated by the human population by vaccination. This is one of the great successes of the WHO. Okay. Right now, there's only two places where smallpox actually is. One is in the Fort Detrick, which is the Army Medical Disease Center. It's like, the military wing of the CDC. And the other one is in Russia, in the Russian equivalent of the military wing of the CDC. Okay. Okay. So this is smallpox. Okay. People used to die of it all the time. Okay. Okay. Um, Chickenpox. You guys in your generation probably never had chickenpox. In mine, it was rather common. Like I think I had chickenpox, was too young to remember it. But for my generation, yeah, chickenpox, you took a week off from school, stay at home, watch a lot of TV, eat a lot of ice cream, scratch yourself a lot. Um, and that's what chickenpox actually is. But the problem with that is the virus never actually goes away. Once you have chickenpox, it never goes away. It hides in a dorsal root ganglion, okay, and it can cause um, uh, shit, um, blah, 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 blah. Shingles. Oh, totally forgot. So this is chickenpox, okay? Uh, so it can hide in a dorsal root ganglion, and eventually, during periods of stress or lower immunity, it can come out and cause shingles. So you can see it spread along that one peripheral nerve, and it'll cause great severe pain. Okay. Okay. Both therapeutic neuralgia, pain along the nerve. Okay. 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 Herpes simplex. So there are two types of herpes simplex. So this way: herpes simplex 1 above the waist, herpes simplex 2 below the waist. Okay. Uh, so okay. 90% of the U.S. population is filled with HSV1. Okay. So HSV1. Okay. HSV1 stays in the trigeminal nerve ganglion. Again, HSV2 remains later in the sacral nerve ganglia. Okay. Basically, they do the same thing as smallpox. They come out occasionally when you're under stress or your immune system is low. Okay. Okay. Measles. Okay. Viral disease transmitted by the respiratory route. Okay. Is treated by the MMR. Measles is incredibly infectious. Otherwise, okay, the R value for measles is something like 14. Okay, okay. This is the reason why you need a measles vaccine, because the children under 1 can't receive the vaccine. Okay, so this is measles, otherwise known as rubella. Okay, rubella is a very a milder version of measles, um, but it can um, cause congenital defects. Okay. Okay. Again, it's prevented by the MMR, mumps, measles, rubella vaccine. Okay. All right. Fifth disease is my favorite name for a disease. It's literally fifth in a list of diseases, and they called it fifth disease. It was like 100 years ago where they listed diseases, and it was fifth in a list of childhood diseases. So fifth disease. The symptoms are like slap cheek syndrome. It's literally called slap cheek syndrome, where you look like you've been slapped about 100 times. Okay. Uh, bright red cheeks. Okay. Uh, Rosola is okay, not really often. So hand, foot, mouth disease. Okay, hand, foot, mouth is spread usually among little children. So like preschools. Okay, in preschool, everybody touches one another. Everybody touches their mouth, and so this shit spreads like wildfire through uh, a preschool. Okay, the good side effect of it is that it's really nothing to be aware to be, it's not lethal. All you do, like, you have rash everywhere, and then it goes away. Okay. 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 So mycosis is a fungal infection. Okay. Um, the metal mycosis is those tinnitus or ringworm. Okay, so these are the same disease, really. It just depends on where you get it. On the head, it's called scalp ringworm, so typically ringworm. Uh, Crurus is jock itch, pedis, athlete foot. Okay, we get under the nails. It's okay. You can see ringworms on the scalp, athlete's foot. Okay. Okay. Subcutaneous is a little bit more serious than cutaneous because again, cutaneous you're right on the surface. Okay. Okay. Um, Candida albicans. Okay. They're already in the vagina, and what happens is when antibiotics suppress the competing bacteria, um, this can grow. Okay, it can also changes in mucosal pH. The mucosal pH is usually 4 or 5. Okay, but it goes up to about 7 during the time when sperm can enter and or sperm can fertilize the egg, and therefore that change and actually select for Candida albicans to actually grow. Okay, this is thrush. Okay, so thrush is just that growth in the tongue. Okay, uh, I'll, I'll I'll try to look for these pictures when I have one, but not other having it. I also have the hand foot mouth. I'll try to show you guys that if I have if I can find them. Okay. Okay. So scabies is caused by mites. Okay. All right. So interesting story time. Okay. Lice. Okay. There is two types of lice. Okay. Pedicus, humanus, capitis, head louse. Okay. PH, corvinus, raleigh louse. Okay. They're actually not very related to each other, which is kind of cool and gross all at the same time. And the reason why it's kind of gross is this. Okay. Um, oh, by the way, the common term for lice is cooties. So, we, as little kids, they always say little girls have cooties. That's what they actually mean. All right. So here's the growth story. Okay. So our closest relatives in the animal kingdom are chimps. Okay. So it makes sense that the lice that are in our hair is most closest to chimp lice. And it is. Okay. Um, we have two types of lice. We have a type of lice that grows in our groin. That type of lice is not closest to chimp lice. Okay, so chimp just have one type. The chimp has body hair everywhere. Okay, so what has happened is the lice eventually that we share common ancestry chimp nuts in our hair, and our body is too uncovered to have lice go from their head to crotch. Okay, but so we picked up a second group of lice, PH corbitus. Okay, this type of lice we picked up from gorillas. Okay, so the only way that happened was somewhere in their human ancestry after we separated from chimps. We had genital rubbings with gorillas, and you can put two and two together. But yeah, okay, yeah. Lice is again a children thing is pain in the ass to get rid of. Okay. Okay. So you can see the lice here and the eggs. Okay, this one's hatching actually. Okay. 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 All right. Remember, we gross out a little bit. Conjunctivitis is the inflammation of conjunctiva. So let's go through all this stuff. Okay. The first one is uh, the red eye or pink eye, usually called pink eye here in California. Okay. Um, so you can see pink eye. Okay. No, no, somewhere there's a pink eye here. There. Okay. Okay. Um, Ophthalmia the torum. Okay. It's caused by gonorrhea. Um, this actually happens on the way out of the birth canal. This is why out of the birth canal, the first thing you do is to treat the baby with either antibiotics or silver nitrate. Okay. Okay. Same thing with chlamydia. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Why have antibiotics almost entirely replaced the less expensive use of silver nitrate? That's because you also need it for chlamydia. Okay. Okay. Keratitis will skip. Okay. So yeah, a lot of these diseases are more affected by poor people because they don't similarly have the care necessary and stuff like that. Okay. Anyways, I will see you for the next chapter. Hopefully, it was entertaining. Okay. I hope this picture is entertaining as well.